From parties to street corners, more young people are experimenting with drugs and alcohol. But here is what you don't realize. Drug abuse don't just damage, your health. It can push you into risky sexual behaviors and can lead you to committing, some things that you won't have liked to do on a normal day. So we're talking about drug abuse and risky sex and the connection no one talks about, because in a way they are interwoven, and it's high time we start speaking about this. My name is Precious Oyeleke as usual. Please don't forget to like this video, share this video, and recommend to your friend, and let's dig deep on this conversation. Raising youths with drugs use in 2025, it's becoming alarming. There are a lot of youth out there that consume, drugs even beyond numbers. They consume drugs, they consume alcohol, and they're not sure about it. They're unapologetical about it. And this has caused us to have increases in STI, increases in HIV, unintended pregnancy among adolescents and young people. Because of some of them share needles that they used to pass the drugs into their system. So there's increases in HIV, STIs, because they are going to be having unprotected sex because their mind is not in its right state. So they don't mind sleeping with 10, 5, 3, 2 women, and they sometimes engage in unprotected sexual intercourse. And because of this, there's an increased rate in sexual abuse, increases in unintended pregnancies, unplanned pregnancies, pregnancy they did not plan for. And how would they be able to plan for it? How? It's not possible. And there's a link between impaired judgments and safe sex. They're not in the right state of mind. So they won't normally, they want to have, an intercourse with someone. They don't mind just finding a random small girl or a random small boy and just grab him and do what they want to do. They don't mind it because at that time to them, they want to practice the risky type of sex. The risky kind of intercourse, and this is not meant to be so. And the issue is that there is there are increased silence around conversations like this. People keeping quiet, they don't want to talk about it, and this makes the risks become bigger and bigger and bigger. How drugs influences sexual behavior? Number one, it causes poor decision making, forgetting that there are things like condoms, that there are things like contraceptives, and they need to, they begin to engage in multiple sexual partners. They're not faithful to their partner. They cannot practice abstinence because they're not in their right state of mind. It's just few of them that don't become prey to things like this. And some people, because they want to practice multiple sexual partners, that's the kind of work they do, they end up having to consume drugs, having to consume alcohol, and because of that, they deal with unintended pregnancy, they deal with STIs, they deal with other sexual related health issues. And sometimes, it leads to sexual violence. Perpetrators often use drugs or alcohol to carry out these acts. They don't want to be in their normal state of mind, because a person in his normal state will not want to abuse their fellow human being or not to sexually abuse anyone. These are the issues, and these things often lead to addiction cycles, trading sex for drugs or money, especially among vulnerable youths. They don't mind, the way some people trade their sex for sanitary pad, some people trade sex for drugs, and this becomes very alarming. Become very, very alarming. Some people will not mind doing all the menial jobs just to get money and to squander everything on drugs. Some will not mind selling their parent property, selling their, causing a distrust among their siblings, not because they want to get the money and use the money to consume these items. These are the issues. And it also leads to a double burden, because we now begin to have health risk like HIV/AIDS, like STIs, unintended pregnancies, unsafe abortions. It also has psychological impact because it leads to reject, it leads to trauma, it leads to damaged self-esteem. It affects the self-esteem of such individuals, affects the self-esteem of their friends, their loved ones, because those ones begin to shy away from them, and people can begin to point out that, are you not the friend, are you not the brother, are you not the sister? So it's even beyond the individual in person. It's also about the people they have around them. And also the social stigma. People begin to people judged for both the drug and the sexual activity, so they begin to hide from seeking help, because you know that by the time by the time you want to seek up, you're not only seeking up because of the drug abuse, you're going to be seeking up because of the sexual abuse, or because of the sexual, perpetration you've done to, to victims of your sexual abuse, because such individual will most likely be the abuser. So why the silence? There's a cultural taboo around sex, which is sometimes a norm in these days and age, and also around drug use. Parents, schools, communities avoid topics like this, and if they even have conversations around things like this, they try to have it in close spaces, or come from a place of threatening individuals that don't practice drugs. If you practice drugs, your life will be destroyed, your life will be this. To just begin to explain to them the mental impact of consuming these things, the psychological impact, the impact it have on you, it have on your friends, have on your families. And I believe not anybody in their right state of mind, after hearing the impact of these things, we still want to practice it. Am I right? I think I'm right. Counseling and rehab services are tailored for young people, and sometimes, no, I would say stigma makes young people suffer in silence, because you stigmatize against them, you make them feel bad. And yes, I know you have to make them feel bad so that they can sucking up and sit up to their lives, but stigmatizing them for a long time will also lead them to get worse, and to sometimes not seek up. And few adolescent friendly services are actually open for safe conversations around things like this. They don't create spaces for adolescents to ask questions and not feel judged, because when an adolescent is asking questions around things like this, they often judge them. They want to feel like, what are you doing? You want to do this, you want to do that, and which is not meant to be, which is not meant to be. So there's a need for us to break this cycle. There's a need for more comprehensive sexuality education beyond biology in schools, to all classes, right from primary school, age appropriate information as regards to their sexual and reproductive health and rights. There's also a need for counseling and rehab services for young people, tailored to adolescents, that are safe, that the healthcare providers do not judge. They are safe people. That we listen, we do not judge, they practice it wholeheartedly. And there's also a need for safe conversation and safe spaces for honest conversations around NGOs, the government, law enforcement agency, peer networks. In schools, there's a need for more of this. And also a need for adolescents to empower them with information, for them to say no to drug use, for them to say no to drug and unsafe sex. Anything that is not safe, they should speak to their legs and run. And they should, they should not be like, I don't want to. No. They should say no to drug use, and they should seek help. They should not stay in the place of fear, or stay in the place of, I don't want this person to hear about it, I'll feel bad, I'll feel shame. No. You don't have to deal with that. You really don't have to deal with that. So we end with this, that drug abuse and risky sex are not separate issues. They are identical. They go together. They feed each other. If we want to elder young people, we need to address both of them together. We need to join forces together to address both of them, because most likely a person that is addicted to drugs can in a way also be addicted to sex, because they are intertwined with each other. So let me ask you a question. Do you think parents and schools are ready to address drug abuse and unsafe sex or sexual health together? And if we think they are ready, why? I would think they are not ready, why not? I'll meet you guys in the comment section. So I hope I've helped you guys in today's video. I would like us to speak up, to use our voices and amplify our voices in conversations around things like this, so that I can have reduced rates of drug abuse, sexual abuse, among adolescents and young persons in general. I'll see you guys in the next one.